Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of three life changing tips from highly effective people. And today we have Mehnaz Khan all the way from New York, USA. Welcome, Mehnaz, to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
I'm also very excited because today the topic is a bit different. Mehnaz is an artist and a color psychology specialist, and we will discuss how choosing the right colors is also very important. Often we neglect these things. But we will talk about that. Mehnaz, can you briefly introduce yourself to our viewers?
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Mehnaz Khan. I'm located here in upstate New York, and I'm an artist and color psychology specialist. And what that means is that I help just amazing people like you create calm and restful spaces in their home using the power of color so you can be more productive, you can improve the quality of your sleep, and you can cope up with everyday anxiety.
That's really interesting, and we will know more about it in the second part of the show. So, as always, we will go to the tips, and today the tips are about using the right colors and why they are important. So, we will go to tip number one for today.
So, my first tip is environment impacts behavior. Now, this is a simple fact that your environment impacts behavior. And the best way to understand this is if you are trying to eat healthy, but all the food that you have in your pantry is junk. So automatically, you're not going to eat healthy. You need to create an environment where you can eat healthy. So that's like in the simplest form. You haven't created an environment eating healthy, you just can't eat healthy.
So creating the environment means you're talking about again the colors, like where you're eating, it should be good colors.
Everything in your environment, every element in your environment, the colors, the textures, the finishes, the pictures you have, what is the painting saying? And we are going to talk about colors because color is an extremely important element. And should we jump on to tip number two?
Yes, sure. Tip number two
is using the power of colors. So first, what we need to understand is, and this is the problem I see in today's world, is that marketers and trends have made colors something as it's just there to make things beautiful and pretty. It's all about aesthetics, where in reality, in nature, color is a survival mechanism for everyday life. Just think about it. Countless decisions throughout the day are dependent on colors. If we lived in a colorless world, how would you decide like which tomatoes should you put in your salad or anything? Everything is dependent on color. And if we did not have these colors, actually the world could be a dangerous place. Not just that it would take more time to make decisions, but it could be, you could poison yourself because you just don't know that the food has gone bad. The color tells you that this food has gone bad, throw it away.
Indeed, colors are really important in everyday decisions, of course.
Extremely important. And like I said, if you think about living in a colorless world, you will see the value of colors. And then when you use colors by understanding their meaning and psychological impact in your environment, you create an environment that supports you, that nurtures you. If people are having a hard time in the pandemic staying home, and no, not to take away from the difficulties of the pandemic, but most people, it's because they haven't created a home and an environment that's nurturing or supporting them. And now you can't escape, back in the day, you could go shopping or to the mall or to somebody's home or eat out in the restaurant. Now you don't have those options. So you're staying home and you're finding it hard because your home is not in alignment.
So we will also discuss about how to choose the right colors and which colors are important in which kind of situation. So let's move to tip number three.
So tip number three is the shift happens when your environment is in alignment with your subconscious mind. So subconscious mind is a key part of my framework. Let's say I want to be happy, but I'm living in an environment that's gloomy and dull and boring and depressing. So the shift is not going to happen. My subconscious mind is confused, like you want to be this happy person, but I don't see any happiness. At work, you want to be productive, but you're in an environment which is not pushing your creativity, which is not stimulating your intellect, and it's boring, it's draining your energy. How are you going to be productive? You can't sleep at night. Look at your environment. You haven't created a sleep-inducing bedroom. So when your environment is in alignment with what you want, that's when the shift happens.
Okay, these were wonderful three tips, and Abdul Wahab is saying that Sharik, your voice is too low. I hope you guys can hear me. I try to speak a bit louder. So we had wonderful three tips from Mehnaz, and she is a color psychology specialist and an artist from New York. So now we will talk more about what is actually color psychology. Can you explain a bit about it?
Yeah, color psychology is the study of how colors influence your emotions, feelings, thoughts, and behaviors. So
Okay,
that's
good.
yeah, the simplest form. I
Yes.
think
So
we
of
need.
course there is a
I,
lot of yeah, colors definitely impact. But what should we do? How should we learn about the colors? What can be the starting point for people
Yeah,
like
Sharik,
us?
I think first we need to understand is how our brain processes color, because the idea is that color is just a visual stimuli. But the way our brain processes color turns it into an emotional and psychological impact. So what happens is basically you can even say color doesn't exist. Color is just a phenomena because color is a reflected wavelength of light. So color is not the property of the object you're looking at. When you look at an object, it reflects light back into your eye. Your eye takes that electromagnetic impulses and sends them to your brain. Your brain does some computation, some calculation, and interprets it as a certain color. So all of this processing happens in the hypothalamus, which governs. It's a tiny part in our brain called the hypothalamus, which governs our entire endocrine system, hormones, metabolism, appetite, a reproductive system, body temperature, emotions, everything. So every time a color is processed, which is a wavelength is calculated, something is triggered in the mind and the body. And this is why
Yes.
color is not just a visual stimuli, it creates emotions and reactions in the mind and the
Yes.
body.
So it means color definitely plays a very important role. We will talk more about that. But
Humongous
before
role.
that, we are really excited to know because Mehnaz actually studied computer science. So that is also interesting because mostly the women are not, they don't like this subject. But you studied, you had good grades, but then later on you moved towards color psychology. It was your passion to move towards this, or you did not like computer science anymore. How did this shift happen?
So I think I should have always pursued a career in arts, but growing up, the smart kids always studied science. So all I knew was I'm a smart kid. That was important. But being a woman, sometimes this can be my weak point, but this was my opportunity also. Being a woman and raising kids, I was not the sole bread earner of my family, so I got to stay home. And then when I decided to go back to IT, I was like, I have to start again from the beginning. There's a 10 years gap. I have to study things again. Why don't I do this is what I really love. Passionate about colors. And the most important part is that it's not just about making things pretty, it's about helping people. I know when people implement colors intentionally in their homes, their lives become better. So that's how I got into this.
Yes, and then you made it your kind of profession also. So step one will be that if you start for all women or for everyone who wants to start a new career, you need to learn about it. So what you need to learn about even color psychology. You have to read a lot. So what were your sources? If you want to share a bit or give some tips, and then afterwards, how does a daily routine looks like, or what are the normal tasks of a color psychologist or artist like you?
So how I got into this was I moved across continents. So I originally belonged to Karachi, and the climate is very different. It's warm, the sun shows all the time. And we moved right next to the Canadian border, where 6 to 8 months, the sun does not make any appearance. It's always gloomy. So seasonal depression became a big part of my life. Then I had a baby blues, and I gave up that career in IT, which I was very passionate about. So I came to America to actually study as a student, and I gave up that career. So I was feeling low self-worth, and a lot of women go through this. So I like to talk about this because once you're having a baby, you're sitting home, you're not doing what you were passionate about, you lose your self-esteem. So this was going on, the struggle was going on, and something that confronted me was the simple fact that environment impacts behavior, and the most significant element in any environment is color. Color influences your emotions, your feelings.
Yes.
So when I experienced this, and then I started making changes in my own life, and I would go somewhere, I would see that difference. And yeah, that's what got me into like, I need to study more about colors. I was also painting, so I had this kind of intuitive feeling about color, but I wanted to study. Then I did certification in color psychology. And again, that's all I study all the time. It's about color. What color
Yes.
are we eating? What color are we wearing? Even my kids. That's it.
Of course. So that's why, and that's how you started. And actually, it's often the situations come in life that you have to change your profession or what you were always going in the direction. You have to change it. But it's a proof that we can do it, and it's not so bad about it changing it. Yeah, because some people, they, you have got the degrees and all the effort will be ruined, but actually you will use it in some form of, or the other
You
actually.
always do. I have a lot of degrees. Just if somebody's thinking like that, I have an MS in computer science, I have an MBA, and here in the United States. So I don't feel that way that I just wasted everything. If I could do that, which I was not passionate about, this is so easy for me. This is like I live for this. So you always utilize it and you learn a lot of things. And what happens is when I paint, I don't paint intuitively, I paint strategically. So these years of coding and step by step going into everything strategy, I paint strategically. I have a plan, what colors I'm going to use, what are these colors going to do, everything. And if I paint intuitively, my paintings are horrible. So you implement it somewhere in life. And again, that's why color psychology worked so well for me, because it's a plan. You tell me what your desires are, how you want to function in a space, and then we create a plan for that. It's not randomly, this is in trend, oh, I just like this. That we don't do that kind of stuff.
So let's give some value to the customers, to the viewers now. For example, somebody buying a new apartment, new stuff, new bedroom stuff, new living room stuff. Often we are just not thinking too much about the colors. We are thinking about right kind of sizes, the prices, and other stuff. So where should we start? And first of all, motivate us so that colors is important. And second, how to choose the right colors, or what can be the next steps before going out and buying new furniture.
Okay. So the motivation part is, again, go back and think, if the world was colorless, how would you survive? How would you live? And you will realize that colors are so important. And if you actually have the wrong colors in your space, if the colors don't match how you want to behave and feel in your space, then you will have negative influence and you'll not feel the way you should. So where do you start is you always start with a plan. And in interior design, and generally people feel like color is the last part. I don't really have to worry about it. I can choose anything. That's completely incorrect. Color is actually the first part we talk about. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to decide who are the people using the space, how is the space going to be used, the function, and specifically the behaviors, not the mood, not the ambience. We're talking about behaviors. We don't see anybody's mood. We see people's behavior, and that's how we understand what's going on with them. So you want to write down the behaviors. And then once you know the behaviors you want, then you're going to choose colors to match those behaviors. Now, there's so many colors. There are actually millions of colors out there, and we can't talk about all of them here today. So you can go visit my blog, go to my Facebook page. I'm talking about colors all the time. And there are lots of resources which you can find out, like, if this is the purpose, I want to be productive in the office, what color should I use in the office? You will get that information. If you're in a bed,
so that's also nice, because we talked about behaviors, listing the behavior. For example, at home we want to relax, or we want to do something. Similarly, it goes for the working place. We can list down the behaviors that we need from the team and accordingly choose the color. That's what I understood.
That's true. Extremely true. Because the kind of work I do, my office space is different. It's more like a creative studio kind of space. The kind of work you do requires different tasks. So the colors are going to change.
Yes, very nice tips actually. So again, we talked about 3 tips. First one was environment impacts the behaviors, and of course then we need to take care of our environment. That was very nice. And then the second was to realize the importance of, or the power of colors, and that's whole science, and it's called color psychology. We can read about it. There is a lot of material out there, and you, as Mehnaz said, you can follow her Facebook page, Instagram, and the website, and this is already given in the description of the post, and she'll be happy to reply to your emails. And then you said that the shift happens when our environment is aligned to our subconscious. Yeah, throw some light on this.
Yeah. So first of all, I want to mention this, that these are not just tips. These are facts. These are simple facts of our life. If you're living a conscious life is not about just eating healthy and exercise and yoga and meditation and therapy and journaling. That's one part of living healthy. A whole other part of living healthy is your environment. You can eat as much healthy you want, as much exercise you can do, but if you haven't created an environment that's healthy, the shift is not going to happen. You need both parts. So
Yeah.
subconscious mind is 97% of the decisions we make daily are based subconsciously. Only 3% is conscious. So you have to think about the subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind has different parts. There's the survival brain, there's the safety brain. So the job of your safety brain is to always protect you. I tell my kids, like, I have back eyes, I can see what you're doing behind me, and they actually believe me. They even try to search my eyes and in my hair. So your subconscious mind is like your back eyes. It's always looking around everything in 360 degrees around you, and it's picking up things what could harm you. Another thing is your subconscious mind does not understand the difference between perceived danger and actual danger. So if there is danger, so let's say there's a painting of an elephant in your room right next to your bed. Your subconscious mind knows that it's an elephant, that's it, period. It does not know it's just a painting, it's not a real elephant. So that night, you will be twisting and turning all night. You will not be able to sleep because your subconscious mind is, are you crazy? You're sleeping with an elephant. The elephant can harm you at night. So anytime you're bringing anything, whether it's colors, whether it's some pictures, some sculptures in your space, think about how your subconscious mind is going to react to it. And
Very
that's how you
interesting.
anxiety out of your home. I just want to add this, that people feel like anxiety is always because we're thinking about the future. Sometimes it's not. You have elements. Like if you have that painting of the elephant, you're never going to sleep. So you have elements of anxiety, stimulants in your environment.
So actually, there's really a lot of things I learned today, and our viewers also. So we need to have positive elements around us so that we can have good subconscious decisions. We need to have good colors according to the behaviors we want to have at home, at work, at all the places. So actually, it's a big art. Actually, color psychology and importance of colors is too much. I realized today, and actually, I will read more about it. Read your blog also. I think the viewers will also. And another takeaway from today's show is that you can follow your passions, and even if you have a degrees of in some other field, but in life you can also always switch. And once your job is or your business is aligned with your passion, then there is no, you're not tired by doing it, and you can talk about it, you can work about it. So it was really good learnings from Mehnaz today, and we really enjoyed the show today. Mehnaz, some last tips to the viewers before we sign off for today.
Yes, my final suggestion is going to be, this is a place where you don't have to be very innovative and don't try to recreate the wheel. Mother Nature has done the work for you. If you're not sure what colors look together, good together, or what color you should have in your space, look outside in nature. All the answers are there. And an example, I'll add this last exist naturally. So now we are getting into this, thinking out of the box. I want to be innovative, so I'm going to create blue food, blue icing and everything. Naturally, when food turns blue, it's a sign for you that it's gone bad. Throw it away. It's poisonous. And that's some places it's not good to reinvent the wheel, and this is what's causing a lot of people anxiety. And now on, Sharik, you will notice when you're trying to eat something blue, you'll instantly have this feeling. Somehow your brain is trying, that safety brain is trying to protect you. Like, are you crazy? You want to eat poison? So you're going to feel like it's not appetizing. It doesn't look delicious. Blue drinks, energy drinks, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, don't recreate the wheel. Answers are there in nature, and you'll get all your answers, the best color combinations, and how colors make you feel.
Very nice tips, and really enjoyed the show. Thank you very much, Mehnaz, for showing up, and thank you very much to all the viewers who stay tuned throughout the show. And we had good viewership today. And you can always give feedback to me on email at ideas@sharikjawed.com or personal message. And you can follow Mehnaz on the links mentioned in the post description. And next week we will come with the next amazing episode. Stay tuned, and thank you very much. And thank you very much, Mehnaz, for joining.
Thank you for having me.